Francesco Murano. Welcome to Fashion Forensics. A fashion designer born in Salerno, you first started out by actually specializing in ceramic design.
Yeah.
Before moving to Milan in 2016 to pursue the world of fashion and design and art. You graduated from Istituto Europeo di Design in 2019, actually, and you won the Cameramoda Award. And since then, you've become one of the most exciting emerging talents, especially from Milan. And most recently, you became an LVMH Prize finalist. So my first question for you is, how would you describe yourself?
So initially, I look very shy, and some people say that I'm unfriendly, but actually I'm very outgoing and affectionate. I love being around people and stay connected. I'm from Italy. For us, the physical contact it's so important
Yeah.
because we express ourselves also in this way. I was born in a small country and in a big family. I have two brothers, one twin, and a lot of cousins. So I was grown in the middle of a lot of people. So for me, it's so important to stay with the people. And I'm also very sensitive
How you do
in
your work.
general, yes, but this kind of sensitive helped me in my job because I built Francesco Murano step by step in the last 5 years, carefully and with quality, step by step, because I started very very young. So it's also thanks this sensitive that I am where I am.
That's
Mm.
very interesting, and especially when you say that you grew up with such a big family around you, so
Yeah.
with a lot of people. And I want to take you back to those kind of formative years, at the very beginning of maybe you were a child or a teenager. What was your first kind of visual memory that you remember associated with fashion?
Yes. So when I was a child, I stayed every moment with my grandmother that was an embroiderer, and I remember that I was a very religious child. I was obsessed with the church. Obviously, if you think about it, I was obsessed with aesthetic of the church, the ritual, the the opulence of this kind of things. And there in my small town there is a religious festival, and there is this Baroque Madonna from 18th or 17th century. I don't remember exactly, and she had this real dress, full of gold embroidery, and with this real hair. It's like a wig. And I remember that this is my first iconography, my first inspiration, because I remember that still now I like to see her from the back, and see how the fabric moves on this statue that move through the crowd.
A
And
very classic Italian tradition, actually.
yes, and these things we can find in my designs, because I like to put the attention on the back of my garments, not only on the front. It's one of my favorite part of the garments, the back. So if you think about the last spring summer, there is this leather blouson that is very plain on the front, but you can see all the details on the back, this great draped balloon of leather. And yes, I think that this is my first reference that I remember when I was a child.
And did you, spending so much time with your grandma, did you kind of start learning to sew then? Was that the moment where you started having these skills?
Yes, there is no a specific moment when I decide to do this work. Um, I remember that my grandmother was an embroiderer. My aunt was a professional seamstress in Rome. So I played always with the fabrics, with everything that I can wrap it around the body. Also with the Barbie, for example, I have my best friend. At the time, she had a lot of Barbie. And I remember that I love that dolls, but I don't love too much that they have the same dress, the same look, usually casual look and not right for the occasion. So I try to create something like ball gown or dresses for the red carpet.
Different silhouettes, experiment with silhouettes.
Yes, with the scarves or with the paper or with the small piece of fabrics, with everything, and yes.
I mean, this kind of takes me to the images that you chose, and one of the images actually is of the Barbie doll.
Yes.
It's basically your creation on the Barbie doll.
Yes.
So you basically draping over this Barbie doll.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about kind of what was that moment when you first started to experiment like that? Because this is I mean, it looks amazing. You could create this
Yes.
right now.
Yes, so this is from the, I think, 2011, but I think all only because we was the first time that we had a cell phone with camera.
Yeah.
But I start to do this kind of thing very, very um,
Very early in your life.
yes. And I remember that at that time, because I studied dance for many years, and at that time we studied the musical cabaret.
Yeah.
And I had this black tie in my wardrobe, and I think that this was the night after the rehearsal, and I played with my best friend Anna, and I have this black tie that I wrap it around the body of the Barbie, and I use this ring like a tiara for the hair, and it looked like the inspiration was, I think, Rita Hayworth in Gilda when he performed Put the Blame on Mame, and because I was obsessed at that time. And yes, I think that this the best example for me that reflect my fascination for the for the garment
Yeah.
construct directly on the body, and how the body is so central for my creative process today.
I mean, I can imagine that this for you was a very natural way because you say you come from a family of people that were garment makers, and you have a lot of people in your family that you saw construct garments. And how was that feeling? So when you were growing up, did you immediately think, okay, I want to be a fashion designer, or did you try to experiment with going into other areas and other jobs?
Yes, for example, with the dance. I remember that when I was at the middle school, I liked so much the fashion, but also the dance. So many years later, I have to decide what I have to do, if
Yeah.
continue to make dance, because
So you spend your high school years dancing as well as
dancing, yes, study art and do it fashion at the same time, and do it dance, sorry. But I always loved fashion, because I remember when I play with my friends, with my brother, despite the kind of game, the custom for me was always very central. And after, yes, I decided to do the fashion designers, also because I remember that at the time there are not Instagram or social media,
yeah.
only some channels on the TV that show the fashion show. And when you are a little child from south of Italy, you know about Armani, you know about Valentino, but you don't know about the other bigs, like, I don't know, Margiela or
Yeah,
Comme des
Alexander
Garçons.
McQueen.
McQueen, yes. So I remember when my father's bought this kind of channels, this package of channels, and there is this channel that was called World Fashion Channel or something like this. And I saw for the first time this kind of designers that was completely different from the designer that I know at that time.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they showed this reality show about this fashion school in Milan. And now he's dead, but I had a uncle that lives in Milan. So I remember that at the middle school, I decided to go at that school, that not this the same school where I studied,
Yeah.
and also decide to live in Milan despite the work. So yes,
It was kind of you immediately had a pathway to see your future.
yes. And from that, I never changed my idea about the city, about my work, about the school. Yes.
And how do you remember some of the designers that you kind of saw on the kind of on fashion TV? Do you remember some of the names to this day that you really loved looking at? What were they?
Actually, everyone, because it was like a holy world,
Yeah.
full of different point of view. So I saw Valentino, Giorgio Armani, Versace, but also Margiela, Comme des Garçons, Alexander McQueen, the interview, the show, not also the show, but also the trends of the season. I remember that I spent a lot of noon in front of the TV and see this magic.
And I mean, I want to talk to you a little bit about kind of the style, because I can see that your style of kind of drapery and really the idea of body in what you kind of have now in your collections as such a prominent feature of your designs. I can see it here in that Barbie doll. But did you know you did you kind of immediately always start draping when you were still in school? Were you still draping, or did you start sewing and having
Mm,
finished garments?
mm, you mean my creative process?
Yeah,
Yes.
did it start
So
there
yes, I start always from the mannequin. Yes.
ever since the beginning of your
Yes,
kind of
yes.
pursuit?
And after it's an hybrid of the both world. But
Yeah.
I start always from the mannequin. When I find a particular movement of the fabric, not only a dress but also like a details, and after I work on this detail on the paper, and after I come back on the mannequin, and after I come back to the paper, and after I make the trial of the dress on the mannequin, I take up the trial and brings to the seamstress, to the pattern maker, and yes, and after
A
we
lot of
do the right
experimental.
yes, depend from the season.
Yeah.
Yes, but essentially I love to work directly on the mannequin for first and after
Yeah.
draw. Yeah.
And I mean, this takes me to the second image, which is we talk about draping. This is Leonardo da Vinci, the study of the seated figure with drapery, and this is again such a striking piece of art. What was the kind of reasoning? Because I see a lot of what you're saying about the beginning and your DNA as a designer here, but what made you choose this image?
Yes, so I come from a very small town in south of Italy, but the territory is very influenced by Greek and Roman cultures, and how these cultures are so fundamental for my creative process and the search of classic of balance. I grow inside the archaeological park or ancient things.
Yeah.
My father lives and works in Greece for many years, and from there I developed a deep fascination for the statue, for the sculpture, and after I decided to study at the artistic high school, and Da Vinci is one of my best artists, especially for this kind of
Kind of
painting.
drapery as
Yes,
well.
that with that not all people know this Leonardo, but this is a series of drawings and talks about, and Leonardo represent these seat figures with the drapes, and I love the way that he brings to the eyes of the people that watch the painting how you can feel the softness of the fabrics, but at the same times the structure. Thanks to the body that we can see directly because it seems worn by a ghost.
Yeah.
You can see the knees also only because the fabrics is on the knees. So I love so much the sense of the composition, the perfection, and thanks to this kind of color palette that I think that this kind of neutral color enhance in the best way the feeling that Leonardo want to give us.
Yeah.
And I try to always to translate this feeling in my garments. So you can see the drapes, you can see the structure, you can see my color palette that it's very neutral.
Yeah.
So I find really fascinated how can this image can inspire me every time, every collection, every season in a different way.
Yeah, and it becoming kind of a part of your world, of the DNA of your world. And, tell me a little bit about when you moved to Milan and you actually, started step one of your plan that you set out, and you applied to go to fashion school. What was your experience then? Because I know that those years are so formative for a designer, finding yourself. Who am I? What's my
Yes.
point of view? What am I bringing to the table? How was that experience for you in the beginning?
I remember that it was so grateful because I was born in this small town and I was very happy. Nothing to say about that. But I think that in Italy, the only metropolitan city is Milan. And at the time, I knew that the Milan was the right place to find myself, because I remember when I was young, when I was in Salerno, there is one kind of club, one kind of boys.
Yeah.
And when I comes to Milan, I discover a lot of things to do. I choose my club, I choose my friend, and also so it's not all about all about the university, but also about your general life and how it changed when you discover yourself in the best possible way. And
How was that for you? What did you discover about yourself?
I remember that I discovered this club, that is the Plastic Club in Milan. It was my best place to go, and I remember that with my friends, with my drag queen friends or not, prepare the looks the whole week for the Saturday night.
So you became a club kid at one
Yes,
point.
for a certain time, yes. And I remember that the university was so intense, but at the same time was very funny. And I started to understand the fast of the work of fashion, the dynamic of the city life.
Yeah.
Yes, it was so beautiful until the COVID that stops everything.
Yeah, because you were part of the kind of graduating class of COVID, so you graduated.
Not yet.
Really?
For yes,
A little
because
bit.
yeah, for a little bit, because I was graduated in 2019 in July, and the COVID started in March of 2020. So likely I had the time to emerging in the best way.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how was that kind of, you're fresh out of school, you graduated, you're now, deciding, okay, I graduated, so what am I going to do now? Did you always want to create your brand from the get-go, or did you apply for different positions with bigger brands? Did you want to get experience first and then open it, or how did it happen to choose to?
So my story it's a little bit particular. from my point of view, because I finished the university in 2019, and at the same time I present my thesis collection at this competition that I won of Camera Nazionale della Moda. And in the meantime, after 2 days from the winning, the Beyonce stylist contact me for a custom made from my thesis collection, and from there everything changed, because initially mm, I want to go to the big brands to do experience and not to do my own brands.
Yeah.
But so I start to do some stage, but at the same time,
You got this request coming in from such
yes,
an
a lot
artist.
of requests after Beyonce, because it's like Beyonce opened me the world of the celebrity request. So I worked for 6 months with only 6 looks, and after the COVID, I decided to do a small collection to understand what happened. Because the first collection, it was like the thesis collection. It's not a real collection. So I present this collection at the Uso Next, this competition that was organized by Vogue Italia and Alta Roma, and I won in the women's wear category, and from there I decided to start the brand, and but only on made to measure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
On a made to measure basis. And are you still on a made to measure basis? Or,
Yes.
I kind of wanted to bring you back to that
Yeah.
Beyonce request, because that's the next one of your images. The image of Beyonce wearing one of your pieces. So, I mean, this is, I think for every designer, this is such an accolade to work towards, and you got it at the very beginning of your career.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how this whole thing happened. And
Yeah.
I mean, tell me a little bit about the image as well.
So, if you asked me 10 years ago, who is your idol? My answer is still Beyonce. So I am a huge fan of Beyonce. She's my only reason, and I start to hear Beyonce from the 2009.
Yeah, 2009, when the Sasha Fierce album.
Sasha Fierce with Sweet Dreams, when she wears Mugler Archive for the whole tour, for the whole album. And at that time, I know also Mugler, because before I don't know about Mugler. So after 10 years, when I present my thesis collection at this competition, and after the winning of the competition, the assistant of the stylist of Beyonce, that at that time was Zerina Akers, contact me on Instagram and on email. On Instagram, initially I don't see the message on Instagram, because at the time, thanks the winning, I had a lot of messages in the right text. So, and so I saw the email, but at that time I don't know how work the
How the whole process,
request. Yes. So these guys tell me, "Hi, I'm the assistant of the Zerina Akers, and we would love to put one of your look on Beyonce." And I remember that was very early, like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And there was my ex in the bed with me, and I showed the email to him and say, they kidding me, of course, because it's impossible that she comes to me. And after we contact one of our friend that works in a big press office in this big brand, and to verify the email. And after he comes back to us to say, "Bitch, send everything to her. She's real." So we prepared the custom look for her, this one. but the request arrived in July 2019. But he wore the look 6 months later at the pre-Grammy branch of the Rock Nation. So she was the
She was kind of your first
yeah.
customer in a way. Like,
Yes, she's my first client, my first custom dress, my first.
what did you learn from that whole process? Because, I can imagine that this was all so new to you, doing a custom, working with talent, working with, a celebrity client. How was that for you going into that whole world? Because that's such a different thing.
Yeah, yes, I learned that it was is so important to re-educate the people to have a good garment in your wardrobe, and the made to measure is the best way to have this kind of garment in your wardrobe. And yes, it was so difficult to do this dress, for example, because I remember that I had no the chance to go to LA and make the fitting directly on Beyonce, of course. So we made the the dress directly on the mannequin that we shape like
Yeah, with her
Beyonce.
sizing.
Yes, and yes, we doing a good work with the pattern maker, and at that time I decided to start with the made to measure, because I think that is also a sustainable way for emerging designer to do dress and not have a overproduction, for example.
Yeah.
So for this reason, this service is still available. And it's not like couture, for example. It's more like ready to wear on made to measure.
Yeah.
So you have the chance also to have your little chains like more open or more closed or more long or more short. On you have the chance to choose from the color palette or from the last season, not only from the new season, but
Yeah.
also from the last
It
season.
gives you freedom to kind of do
Yes.
it with clients. And I mean, I can only imagine you send this off and it's, 6 months of nothing and you probably think she's never going to wear it.
Yeah, it was very yes, because
How was that
I was
feeling?
so afraid, because I want to contact the stylist every week to ask,
Yeah,
but I won't. So it was so difficult, but the 6 months passed very, very,
very quickly.
very quickly, and I remember that was like 1 a.m. and I remember that we goes to the plastic club. We was in the taxi, and they contacted me on Instagram to say I am a huge fan of Beyonce. So
Yeah.
at the time I know that that Saturday there is the Grammy branch. So she wrote me, the stylist, and she tells me, Francesco, I have a big surprise for you. So I understood everything, but at the same time it was impossible for me, because at the same events the last years,
Yeah.
she was custom by Givenchy, by Riccardo Tisci, or Balmain by Oliver Austin. So for me, it was impossible. But maybe 2 or 3 hours later, when we were in the club, I remember that some page tagged me on Instagram, but without that Zerina or Beyonce post the looks. So
Yeah.
it was crazy.
And then you see it and it's like, when you saw it in the flesh.
And when the next day I post the looks,
Yeah.
the people that who knows me and knows that I am a huge fan of Beyonce text me and say me, Francesco, but
How did you do
how
this?
do this?
How did you do
I say,
this?
I don't know why. And I read this like a sign, or
Yeah.
yes.
To the, I think is also validation for your work and for all those kind of years of hard work, for your DNA, for your point of view.
Mm.
I think something like this, when you see the people that have inspired you and that you also admire wear your work, it kind of gives you a huge boost to just keep going, because it's not easy. I think a lot of people don't realize that when you're a young designer, it's not easy to keep a
No.
business going and to keep production going and to employ
Yes,
people.
this is the point, because I think that now for our emerging design, it's so easy to emerge thanks to the social media. If you think that Zerina find me on Instagram,
Yeah.
but it's so difficult to be consistent, to find a consistent way and have a long-term vision for your brand, because especially now after 5 years, at the time it was not easy from this point of view. Now more than
Yeah.
5 years ago, also because we live in a very difficult moment and
Things look very different now.
uncertain time. So it's so difficult for an emerging brand to do a very long-term vision.
Yeah.
And yes.
And how is it, since, since that was kind of your first experience, but since then you've worked with a lot of celebrity clients and you've done a lot of red carpet looks. Has your kind of ethos or the way that you approach a celebrity project or a custom project for a client, has that changed? Has the process changed?
Yeah, it's different because you have three kind of requests. You have the sample request, so the celebrities want to wear the looks from the show or from the last season. But for emerging brand, you have one sample size. So if it fit, it's fine
Great.
for everyone.
Yeah.
If don't fit, the next time. You have the second chance that it to make the sample size in the size of the celebrities, and depend if you have the budget, if the celebrities want to invest in the looks, or the three chance to have to do a custom look for the celebrities. And at this part, it's so difficult because you have to find a way to be yourself, but at the same time give the possibility to the celebrities to be herself and to find the right balance. But the mostly it's very difficult because the mostly time they don't respect so much your style. They arrive with the reference of your collection, and
It becomes something
it
completely
becomes
different.
something of very difficult. And the question is, why you comes to me if you want something very different from my works? Because I
Yeah.
think that it's so important. If you come to me from a very specific piece or very specific style, it's so important to maintain these styles. Yes.
And it to kind of maintain the integrity of your
And
design
always
language.
of course always very tight timing.
Timeline.
Yes, timeline.
And I mean, I want to take you to the next image, which is, speaking about big moments.
Oh yes.
This is another accolade. I think a designer always wants, a designer's goal when they start fashion school is, I want to get my favorite celebrity dressed and I want a Vogue cover.
Yes.
And you didn't just get a Vogue cover, but you got a Vogue Italia cover. This is the Vogue Italia cover from the December 2024 issue, which was shot by Rafael Pavarotti and, styled by Daniel Gaines and also supervised by Katie Grant. Again, iconic group of people to work with, iconic group of people to do, but this is also, tell me a little bit about the story of this image, because this is a very specific type of shoot that happened.
Okay, so it was very the story is very funny because the shoot was in September 2024 during the Milan Fashion Week, the Women Milan Fashion Week. And Vogue Italia enjoyed the 16th anniversary of the magazine during the dinner, and the shoot was was live during the dinner, so it was like a trial. And Daniel calls my PR Nicola and say to him, so Anyuk would love to wear one of the pieces of Francesco for this dinner, but you have to know that at the same time we will shoot with Rafael and Katie Grant the cover story, but we don't know too the final result.
Yeah, what's gonna be in
But
the cut, or
I mean, I give the dress just for the dinner, and for the cover, let's see. After 2 months, they Vogue Italia and Francesca Ragazzi wrote to my press office to tell that the shoot was very nice, and they shoot Anouk with my dress, but they didn't told me about anything about the cover. The cover is the December cover, and in December is my birth
your
month.
birthday? Yeah, birth month.
So I was that at the time that week was very tricky for different kind of reason, and I woke up and I woke up with the call of my boyfriends that they told me, Amore, you are on the cover of Vogue Italia. And I say, what you mean I am the cover on the Vogue Italia? Amore, you are on the cover of the Vogue Italia on Anu Kai by Rafael Pavarotti. I remember everything. I take my phone, I go to Instagram, and the first image that compare in front of my head, that is this very powerful poses of Anouk. Yes, the image talks for me. It's very, very powerful, and at the same time, this image represent the beginning of what is happened during the last year. Yes.
Yeah, because this past year for you has been kind of, everything has been turned up to a 10, in the sense
Yeah.
of, getting opportunities, creating, a lot of work, but a lot of payoff from that
Yes.
work. So tell me a little bit about how you spent the last year, developing.
So,
How has it felt for you to?
yes, it was very difficult because I live from a work position in a big brands, and so at the time, the last October, different things changed in my life. So it was very uncertain times, but at the same times, I drew the last fall winter during that time. At the time, I decided to do the application for the LVMH Prize, because I remember that I thought that, okay, now I'm more free. I have more time to be focused on my brand and try to put the brand on the next level. So why not? We can try. In January, LVMH contacted me to tell me that I was one of the semifinalists. So I remember that it was so wonderful because, I remember that I thought it's the time to push. And I remember with my press office to decide, with the help to Sara Sozzani, Maino, and Carla, to have my first show here. Oh, sorry, not here, but in the another Fondazione Sozzani, because this is the second Fondazione. There is the first Fondazione in the center of Milan. So in February, I had my first show with my fall-winter Icus Libra, and at the same time, after 1 week, I had the semifinal with with LVMH in Paris. That was very wonderful because I remember that the feelings of the people and the chance to meet very important people that you dream to meet. And yes, I think that despite the winners, the very important part of the prize was the semifinal, because you have the chance to meet a lot of people that work in fashion, that work in the editorial part or showroom, press office. everyone.
The whole chain of creation.
Yes. All people that it's so difficult to meet it in the same place at the same times. So it was so wonderful. And also this year's with the last season, I decided to try to sell the um, the garments not only on made to measure but also with the retailers. And in September I had my second show, and it was so now it's a very good feeling, because it was very very close with friends,
Yeah.
with people that supported me in the last 5 years, and it was so nice to see the entire work, that it's not only mine,
Yeah. And
but
that it's worth it
also
because people see you and they see who you are, and they see your designs. And I mean, I can only imagine that for you, having LVMH Prize final and the collection in the same month is hard, but it's also very rewarding because you see that your work is recognized.
yes. Yeah, I remember that it was very stressful because you have the final, and you wish to be focused on the final, on how to do the speech with the jury, and how to present in the best way all the clothes. And you can bring everything. You have to choose the right looks on the rack, the right looks for the model, the right word to say why you want to win the LVMH prize. But at the same time, at that period, I have to do also the sample for the new collection that that was still in work in progress, because in Italy we have the summer breaks in August.
Yeah.
So I come back from the vacation, and start to do a lot of things at
Everything.
the same times. It was stressful, but at the same time it was very,
Yeah. It paid
very,
off in the end.
yes, very, very beautiful.
And taking you to your last image, which is a kind of behind the scenes image of your first FW25 show in Milan for your first show. Tell me a little bit about why you chose this image and kind of what this represents for you.
Yes, this is a picture of my team that I made. So I am not here because I made the picture, and this is the situation that I would love to have always when I prepare a collection, because it's not only a professional people, but it's also good friends that work with me from the beginning. And I am me like other emerging brands. I'm a very young guy, and I think that this is the moment to have fun and to be with very nice people that work with you, that allow you a different point of view. That it's so important for me, because mostly I work for the creative part always alone.
Yeah.
So it's so important for me to have a different point of view from my friends, from my that work in fashion or not. And
To have a community as well, a team of people
yeah,
that see your vision and they're like, okay, this is
yes,
how we can do it.
yes, and it's very curious, because they think about you like someone to take inspiration in a certain way. It's a responsibility for me. I don't like too much these feelings,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same times I'm so happy that they are so um affectionate at me and at my work. Yes, it's
Yeah. It's a good
so
feeling I
emotional.
can imagine.
Yes, yes.
And thinking about the future, you've achieved so much in such a short amount of time. but there's still so much to be achieved as well. What is your outlook on the future? What would you like to achieve? Do you have a plan or?
Not too much. Also because I started very young, and I think that despite more big person that start the brands maybe at 40 or 15 after a year of experience, in my case, like a very young designer like Oder, maybe we can start a brand and do it for many years, and after decide to do
Something completely different.
something completely different. I love to have this chance.
Yeah, and be
Yes.
open to that opportunity.
Yes. Yes, because at the same time, this is the point of my life that also for you, that you can change and change and change for many years. We have only 27 and 27 too.
Yeah,
So
it's
yes, I think about the brand. I try to build a real structure for the brand, but I think from the next 5 years, not too much.
Francesco Murano, thank you so much for being on Fashion Forensics.
Thanks to you, Angel.